The following podcast is recommended for mature audiences only. The following podcast is recommended for adults only. Maturity is not a requirement.
Hello and welcome to episode 42 of Dear Download, a podcast where we get to share our most intimate and treasured memories of Download Festival. We'll talk about each year, the bands we saw, the bands we missed, and everything else noteworthy that happened across the weekend. Also, we'll touch upon any news, other festivals, and the music industry past, present and future. This episode, we are talking all about Download Festival 2006. I'm Adam, and as always, I am here with Simon. How are you doing, mate?
Hello, sir. I'm good, mate. I'm grand as always. How are you?
Good. Yeah, I'm all right. Very well, thank you. So yeah, this is going to be a good one. I think it could end up being a long one as well. I think.
Yeah, we'll see how we get on. I guess like we have lots to talk about because this was a really good year. So
yeah, well, we'll straight out the bat. I'm going to have to admit I don't remember a lot about 2006. I've said before, they all just sort of blur into one to me now. So remembering any specific bits from each year is quite difficult. But looking back at the lineup, this was an incredible year.
Yeah, amazing. Literally amazing. And don't worry, listeners. I remember some stuff, and we will trigger Adam's memory so he remembers stuff as well.
Yeah, it might come back.
It will come back.
Yeah. It seemed I've just been so busy recently. A friend of mine, Jacobs, he came around for coffee, and he came to 2006, and he probably could have jolted my memory a little bit tonight. But again, I just did not have time or chance to ask him. So we'll see how we go. Simon, yeah, yes. No pressure.
Yeah.
But yeah, how have you been the last couple of weeks anyway? Anything new with you?
No, not really. No, I bought my first Slam Dunk ticket, so that's exciting. Nice. So yeah, for the first time, I will be going to Slam Dunk Festival. So that'll be cool because it's something I've never experienced. Even though I've got friends that have been going since like the really early days of Slam Dunk. They've been going since 2010 or 2011, and they go like every year. So it's surprising that I've never been to one before, considering a lot of my friends go. But yes, I'm excited. So I bought that, and I also managed to jump in on literally the last hour of the Bloodstock installment tickets.
Oh, really? Nice.
So, yeah, because, times are tough at the moment. I've got a hell of a mortgage to pay.
Yeah.
And buying tickets straight out is not the way anymore. So I'm on the download installment scheme. Luckily got in there. And I got in the last hour of the Bloodstock installment scheme as well.
Last hour.
Yeah, literally. Nice. I was like, because it came up on their Facebook reminding you that it was going to be, today was the last day, so at midnight. So I tried to do it on my phone at work. But have you got an Apple phone?
No. Oh my.
Okay, so you have like Apple Pay, right? But it also remembers your details, so you can input stuff automatically. So you only have to remember the back of your card number, in case someone steals your phone. But for some reason on the Bloodstock website, which I've already said before is like a HTML 2006 website. It looks like Facebook.
Yeah.
It looks like MySpace did then. It wouldn't work. For some reason, it just wouldn't remember my card number. So I obviously went, I'll do that when I get home. Completely forgot about it. I was laying in bed watching Arrested Development with Vicky, and I went, what's the time? Shit. It was like 11 o'clock. I was like, I've got an hour. So luckily, I'd done it obviously within time. But if I hadn't have remembered, I would have been like, oh, that sucks so much.
Yeah.
Because it's only like, it's like £36 a month. So, it's not something you'll really notice that much. So, but yeah, I'm babbling. Well, from now until Bloodstock, so I don't know how many months that is. I think it gets lower. The first one's 36, then they're like 26 quid or something.
Oh, okay.
It's not much.
I'm just wondering if you knew how much the tickets were for the whole. for the whole thing.
It's not much. It's not much. It's like 170, 180, something like that. It's not much. So yeah. So sorry, I'm babbling on. But yes. So I managed to get a Bloodstock ticket and a Slam Dunk ticket. So excellent. And I've already showed Adam today, and I'll put it on the Discord. I had a tattoo for the first time today since 2021. I had a Slipknot Iowa star-esque on the inside of my forearm, and it fucking hurts. So if you randomly hear me go in the podcast, that's because I've scraped my arm off of my desk at some point. So if I scream over you, I apologize. But yes, apart from that, those things, nothing to report. How about you, sir?
Excellent. Yeah, no, for me, same old, really. Just getting by, trying to keep the kids alive. That's about all we do.
Got to keep these kids alive. Got to keep them alive.
Yeah.
Well, if they're alive, you're being a good dad already straight away. Yeah. You know, if your kids are still living, that's the great place to start. So well done.
Thank you. The hard work, though. Jesus Christ, the hard work.
Yeah. I don't even want to think about that.
Speaking of Bloodstock, actually, though, it came up in the Discord, didn't it? Someone asked what festivals everyone's going to this year.
Yeah.
The only one for me at the moment is Download, but Bloodstock is looking very, very tempting. If I can make it work, if I can get the time off work and get the money to go. Because In Flames, I would love to see what In Flames are like at the moment after the latest album.
I'd go for just that day, because like the lineup is stupid. And then to top it off, you've got, In Flames as main support, and then, Killswitch headlining a festival, which you will not get to see often.
No.
So we'll have to go for that. And the other days do have a lot of good bands as well. Devil Driver. Oh, God, I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
I haven't listened to that new song yet.
Oh, it's so, okay. We won't, not this episode. we'll do that another one, because this one could get quite long, but the new song's awesome.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. I want to listen to that. I forgot that you put it up in the Discord as well. But yeah, Halloween as well, a band I've never seen, I've always liked, but never managed to see.
I thought of you straight away when that came. I was like, oh my God, Adam is going to go crazy. I know how much he loves this band. So
yeah. If they were playing the same day, that would be an awesome, just one day ticket. I'm sure I'd be able to get to, but no, In Flames are on the Friday, Halloween are on the Sunday, aren't they? And I'm sure there's loads of other bands on there, but I just can't think at the moment. But hopefully I'll be able to get to Bloodstock.
That'd be good, man. I'd like to. Yeah, Bloodstock's great. I told you all about it last year. We've done a whole episode about it, but I can only say really fantastic things about Bloodstock. So if there's bands you want to see and you can get time off work, it's not an expensive festival, so it doesn't kill your it doesn't kill your wallet quite like Download. So
yeah, awesome. Otherwise, no, nothing new for me. I don't think, nothing I can think of at the moment. No. So shall we rather swiftly move on to any? Have you got any news? I don't have any news this week.
I have no news. I've got loads of new releases, but I feel like this is not the one to do them on. We'll do them on the next episode, because we've got a lot to talk about.
Well, I want to talk about one new release, if you don't mind. Simon, bring us in with the news and releases.
This is the news. We've got news coming for you now. Just shut up. The news is going to come now. This is the news.
The strangest thing happened. It's probably not the strangest thing. So one of my favourite bands at the moment is a band called Self-Deception. They have actually announced a tour. Well, they're going on tour with Dead by April. The closest they get to me is Birmingham, I think, but it's like a Friday night gig, I think.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if I'll be able to go, but that's the first tour announcement in a long, long time that's got me excited. But they had a new album out recently as well.
Do you know one of their songs got recommended to me on my release radar on Spotify?
Did it?
Yeah, it was called 11.
11, yeah. So
I thought it was wicked. I was walking back from Gloucester, and it was on there, and I went, "Oh, Self-Deception. That's that band that Adam's always going on about."
Yeah.
So I scheduled it to come on next, and I was like, "That's actually pretty fucking good."
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I love them.
Sick.
My first listen of the new album, it wasn't out recently. It was out maybe 2-3 weeks ago now. But my first listen of it, I didn't like it at all. I was like, this is rubbish. All the songs sound just too different to each other. So I didn't listen to them for another week or so. And I thought I'd just put it on. And the second time I listened to it, I liked every single song. And I don't understand how that can happen. I don't understand at all.
Some albums are growers. That has happened to some of my favourite albums of all time. I haven't loved on the first listen. Sometimes an album takes a while to seep into you, and then you're like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Yeah. So some of the best albums do that. Yeah, like some of them you're like, not really sure. And then after a while, you start to absorb, especially if, every song is of a different breed. That makes it even more difficult to kind of absorb as an album. So
yeah, I don't know. It's like, I don't think they are too different to each other. Not as much as I originally thought. Maybe it's just because I was busy the first time. I have also asked in the Discord, like, how other people find listening to albums, like when can they absorb it the most? Because I found recently, like when I'm just doing a rubbishy task like the dishes or cooking, well, not rubbishy task, cooking. I put a lot of work into cooking.
No, but a task you have to put some actual thought into, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that was something. I don't have to think too much, and so like when I'm listening in the kitchen, I really like the music a lot more. I think maybe so. I don't know why. Just anywhere else, it's like completely different listening in the kitchen when I'm doing some tasks to anywhere else. I don't really understand, but it's cool. So that was where I listened to it the second time, and every song I was like, yeah, this is good. This is good. What was going on with my first listen?
Don't know. I'm glad you liked it the second time, though.
Yeah. That was the reason. So I wasn't going to talk about it when it first came out because I didn't like it. Because it's been out for a couple of weeks. I wasn't going to put it in the Discord in the new release section, but now that I've spoken about it, I can, and now that I like it, I will.
You've vetted it for yourself, so other people are like, yeah, you check it out.
But yeah, they're very good. I do like Self-Deception. Go and check them out if I don't know where I'm going with this.
Check them out. There you go. That's your recommendation. If you're a human and you have ears and they work, go and listen to Self-Deception.
Excellent. Were there any new releases you want to talk about? Any new releases you want to talk about here, or you want to save them all until next time?
I've got loads. I mean, Metallica have released something, Cradle of Filth have released something, Devil Driver have released something. It seems like everyone's releasing shit at the moment. So, in the next one, I'll do a big build-up of releases that I've got to talk about.
Excellent. Well, before we go into the main topic, we do like to just plug our Discord a little bit, don't we?
We do.
But the Discord's amazing at the moment. And do you know, I had a friend in work ask me what Discord is. He's been catching up with a lot of the episodes. He chose not to listen to the Bring Me the Horizon one because he doesn't want his thoughts and what's the right word? Doesn't want his opinion changed of them. So obviously he's worried that we do such a good podcast that it will change his mind and he'll like Bring Me the Horizon. But yeah, no, he asked what Discord was, and so I thought maybe we should just try and describe it in a little bit more detail this episode for anybody who isn't sure. It's just basically, it's kind of like a message board, isn't it?
Yeah, imagine it's a message board with channels. So you click on that channel, it will be about a particular subject within whatever server you've joined, which ours is obviously Dear Download. So we'll have, one called General, where everyone will just talk about general shit. Yeah. We'll talk about, the lineup discussion. We've got a podcast one. We've got a new releases one where if a song comes out, someone will put it up and then people will talk about it. Gaming, our football one seems to get a hell of a lot of chat, which is awesome.
Yeah.
When all the Champions League games on and stuff, people are always in there talking about it, which is fantastic. So yeah, it's like a message board, and you can just talk to everyone, send pictures, send videos, and basically, it's like a little hub of community, and you actually have to join it to be part of it. So our one is really cool.
Yeah.
we keep saying it, but I'm on there every single day. Like, I chat to people. There's people having full-blown conversations without me and Adam. We're not involved. Everyone's just on there chatting to each other, having a great time. It is awesome. It's one of the best things we've ever done alongside this podcast, definitely.
Yeah. And I think it's gonna work well for Download this year as well, because everyone's getting to know each other quite a bit more.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
If you don't know many people going, come and join our little community that we've built, and you'll get to know everybody. And I'd imagine we'll probably all try and meet up somewhere this year.
I can't wait to bump into all the people on the Discord when we're there. I mean, quite a few of them I know already, but there's some people there that we've been chatting to for ages now, and I can't wait to actually have a conversation with these people in real life and just hang out. So it's going to be awesome.
Awesome, cool. So shall we bring in Ronnie and ask him to lead us into talking about Download 2006?
We'll do it. Do you want to do a skit this time?
No, I'm not very good at it. You're much better than me. unless you haven't got anything you really want me to, I can.
No, I was just thinking you might come up with something on the. I come up with these on the spot, right?
No, I did not.
I don't pre-plan them.
You probably have said that.
They literally just come to me.
I can't ad-lib. I can't do something randomly on the spot ever. Everything I have to do has to be pre-planned out, has to be thought about in much detail, I think.
Okay. I'll come up with something now then. Hold on. Here we go.
Wait, eat a bag of crisps.
Ronnie, can you really? Do you have to slurp when you drink? Please, can you... Ronnie, please, come on, mate. Come on. I've had enough of it now. Put your drink down. What was that? Gay for Johnny Depp is one of the best band names you've ever heard. Yeah, go on. Scream in, sir. We'll get Gay for Johnny Depp in here. I'm gay for Johnny Depp, and so is Ronnie.
Send for me, Download!
Thank you, Ronnie. And so, this episode is about Download 2006. We got quite a bit of stuff coming your way. I've got a book that I want to read some things from. Simon, you said you've got just a little bit of a mood.
A mood setter. Yeah, so I've got I'll do that first to sort of set the scene of the things that were happening in 2006, right? Let me bring everyone back to 2006,
cool,
okay? Right,
cool.
So albums that came out in 2006, just a few for you. So In Flames, Come Clarity. Yeah. Very good album. Mastodon, Blood Mountain. Iron Maiden, A Matter of Life and Death. Killswitch Engage, As Daylight Dies. Trivium, The Crusade. 3 Days Grace, 1X. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Stadium Arcadium. And My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade. So it was a very good year for music. And that's just a few that I handpicked. There were loads. I could have read about 100 and we all would have been like 6. So it was a really good sort of year for music as well. Movies-wise, obviously some huge movies this year. 300 came out, which was a huge hit. Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, which I think is the second one. I think that's the second. Is it the second one or third one? I think the first one was 2003, so it must be the second one.
Yeah, it's the second one. It's At World's End is the third one.
Ah, there you go. The second Pirates came out. Borat, which was a massive film.
Yes.
A great film. So fucking amazing. I love that film.
Yes, you mash.
Pick a Destiny. Yes, you mash.
Nobody loved my neighbour Noshutan Tuliagbai.
My wife. The Pick a Destiny, another great film. Believe it or not, Casino Royale, the first Bond movie with Daniel Craig in, came out in that year, which is it seems like he's been Bond forever. Obviously, he's not now. And Night at the Museum with Ben Stiller, which was a really, really good film as well. So again, that was just handpicked a few. Some great films. TV shows that started in 2006. Heroes, one of my personal favourites. Ugly Betty, which was huge.
It was massive, wasn't it? And
that was a massive show. Dexter, which obviously people absolutely loved. Life on Mars, which is one of my personal favourite shows of all time. And the IT Crowd. So there were quite big series as well that started. News-wise, this really sets the scene of 2006.
Okay, cool.
So Italy beat France on penalties in the World Cup final. Zidane got sent off for the famous headbutt. So that's a classic football moment.
Yeah.
Steve Irwin is killed by a stingray. Yes, it was that long ago that he died, which is madness. MySpace, of course, was the go-to social platform. Yeah. Facebook was still in dorms at this place, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it had properly launched until later that year. And then obviously we know what happened from there. A whale was found in the Thames.
Yeah.
I think they called it Debbie or Deborah or something like that. They got it out, put it in the sea. and then it died. Sorry. They tried. They really tried. God knows how it got in there. Pluto was downgraded from being an actual planet to a dwarf planet. I know, everyone was really upset about that.
Yeah.
And finally, the Nintendo Wii was released.
Cool.
So,
yeah.
Pop culture-wise, this was a very memorable year, actually.
Yeah.
For music, films, and, stuff. That's just me picking a few things. I could have gone on a lot more stuff, but a lot of cool, rememberable stuff happened in 2006.
A lot of awesome stuff there. Yeah, so 2006 download was your second year, was it? Yeah.
Yeah. I went in 05. It was the first year as well, which is why it's such a big year for me. It's the first year I went with my friends. The year before, it was just me and my girlfriend at the time. And we met up with some people that she knew. But this was the first time that I had, for the whole year before, been telling all my friends how good Download was. They all wanted to go, and we went in a massive group. So it was a really special thing for me and my friends to go to our sort of first proper festival as a big group. So yeah, for that reason, it's very memorable.
Yeah.
And I made friends there, and I'm still friends with these people. Very good friends to this day with them. So
yeah,
this one is a very special Download for me in that regard, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah. So this would have been my fourth, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, my fourth download.
Yeah, 4.
My third with a load of friends. And I think it was all the same group of friends, pretty much. Like a couple changed each year, so it wasn't quite as memorable for me. I struggled to pinpoint what happened to what download. But hopefully, we can bring back some of those memories from this specific year. So it was scorching hot. It was very, very hot, wasn't it?
My God, this one is. I was speaking to my mum on the phone the other day, and I said, we're doing 2006 next on the podcast. My mum knows downloads because we were all living at home. So me, my brother, and my sister went, and we came home. This was so hot, she said that there was some clothes that we brought back that had just rotted. They weren't clothes anymore because they were dusty, worn, disgusting. She said some clothes we brought back from this download just went in the bin because they were destroyed. And also I have a very vivid memory of I've never been that brown before or after. I've been quite brown, but we cannot understate there was not a cloud in the sky the whole fucking 5 days, innit?
Yeah.
It was just unbearable sun on you constantly. And this was the time when people like us brought fuck all to download.
Yeah.
I think I put on about one bit of sun cream the entire time I was. Now I'd be like every half an hour, boom, because I'm very paranoid about that sort of shit. But then I didn't give a fuck.
I don't think I did.
No,
I wouldn't have cared.
Didn't give a shit. So I remember coming home from the festival, showering, going into the front room, and Mum being like, "You look dirty. Like, is that dust and dirt on you?" Because there was dust in every orifice. And I was like, "Mum, I've already showered. I'm just this brown now. This is now my complexion for the next couple of weeks until it finally wears off." That's how brown I was. I've never been that brown. I wish I got a picture afterwards. I don't think I did. There might be some picture somewhere a couple of weeks afterwards when I still look pretty brown. But yeah, this was possibly the hottest download. I haven't got any facts to prove that.
I believe it was, but only from what I've read in my book.
Okay.
Which I was using to do some research. It's got a load of quotes from people who played, a load of stuff from people from around that time who did podcasts and stuff like that. So, yeah, we got some of that coming up.
Wicked.
But yeah, going back to showering, I forgot about, when you're showering, and because it's all the mud, it's just dust on you, and you see it just go down like into brown down the sink.
Yeah.
That happened every year at the beginning, didn't it? And then it didn't. I didn't have that for a long time until one of the recent ones. Was it this year? Oh, was it last year?
This year was quite last year was quite dusty.
Yeah.
Because it was one of the hottest. Yeah. That I was actually like, like baby wiping yourself before you go get out your tent for the day. And I was kind of like, I'm getting 06 vibes.
Yeah.
Because like my ears and everything were like all dusty. I was like, oh shit, I haven't seen that in a while.
No. I forgot about that feeling or that experience of like just the dust coming off of you. I completely forgot it happened, and but for so many years as well. It wasn't just a few years. Just it didn't happen for at least 10, 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what, like we said before, the first, 5 downloads were all just really amazing weather, and Donington was just turned into a dust bowl, this being the worst. And this having the heat and other factors having serious implications that we will talk about later on in the podcast. But yeah, this was... I mean, you just constantly felt like you were carrying extra weight, and you just always felt dirty at this one because you were always dusty. It was like having a festival in a fucking desert. It was so weird.
So with the riots, you were sort of alluding to then. I wanted to say that, again, from reading the book, not many of the sort of write-ups spoke about the riots, which was a good thing. I going into this and doing the research, I thought everything I was going to find was going to be talking about the riots because it's the only time it's ever happened at Download. And so I thought, it might be difficult to find information, but luckily it wasn't. So this was the year Tool, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses headlined. Korn was sub-headlining. Deftones was sub-headlining. They might. The
more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah, I did write down who else was there as well. It was the 3, and Deftones, Korn, and Funeral for a Friend sub-headline. Which was
they were huge at this point.
Yeah, Korn were apparently classed as special guests.
Oh, okay. I know they're really good friends with Metallica, as people. They both really like each other. So and Metallica have said multiple times that they think of Korn as their actual peers rather than people that aren't. Yeah. So I think Metallica really respect Korn, so that's probably why they said special guests.
Yeah, well, I wasn't sure whether they did that for all the sub-headliners at the time, because it didn't say it on the poster. So maybe one of the announcements at the time said, when they announced Korn, with special guests Korn, or had Metallica plus special guests, or if they did that for the sub-headliners for every year, every time. I don't know, but I thought that was quite interesting.
Can I say straight off the bat, just looking at the poster, so if you're going along with this podcast now, should we discuss the bands now and then other stuff around that? Or...
Yeah.
I just want to say straight off the bat, if you're listening to this, if you can get the, or if you already know what the poster looks like, if you've got the poster up at the moment, I love the red and black. Why haven't Download done more red and black? The pilot poster was red, black and white, and it looked awesome. And this looks awesome. Download need to do more red and black posters because they look sick.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And there hasn't been one in so long. Well, the pilot one doesn't really count. That, I think they should next year or the year after or whatever, they should definitely do within the next couple of years a red and black poster. 100%.
Yeah.
Because it looks sick.
Yeah, it does look really good, doesn't it?
Yes. It is a very... I know me and Adam always nerd out about this sort of stuff, but this is how Download nerds we are. It's a really good-looking Download poster.
Yeah. And, but straight away, I thought that the bands were... It's such a good lineup. Every single... Well, maybe not every single one, but I would say a good 80-90% of these bands I'd heard of before, and I had heard some of their music, and I was a fan of quite a lot of them.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very, 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 very strong year. It's up there with some of the best lineups, I would say, definitely.
We were saying, Tool, Metallica, Guns N' Roses headlined, Deftones, Korn, and Funeral for a Friend sub-headlining. We'll go through some of the other bands. The All American Rejects headlining the second stage, which was, so this was also the penultimate year of it being inside the track as well. We didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
2007 was the last year. There's the second stage, which was actually behind the main stage, and it was a massive tent. It was huge.
Yeah, so, if you didn't go to Download at this time, obviously the second stage now is an outside, stage, almost as big as the main stage is. At this point, the second stage was in a giant fucking tent. Like,
Yeah.
it was a huge tent.
was
I can understand why they moved it to outside. I like that. But I do miss it being in that. The atmosphere when you had a really packed tent on that second stage was wow.
Yeah.
Wowza. It really was.
It had a 15,000 people capacity.
That's just insane.
Yeah.
That's so good. Like, for a tent,
Yeah.
that's mental. Like, some of the most mental gigs I ever saw at Download were on that second stage because it was just nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so good. Headlining that stage on the Friday was the All American Rejects, which I'm pretty sure I would have gone to that. I can't remember
good band.
at the moment.
Good band.
Huh?
Good band.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoyed them at the time. Alter Bridge, which I should like. We get to that. No, we're getting to it now. Fuck it. And The Prodigy on the Sunday. I don't like Alter Bridge, but I've had a couple of their songs come on recently, and I was listening to it, and I thought I should like these. They're my kind of music. I don't know why. I just probably heard a couple of songs.
At this time, me and my brother and our friend Buzz, we were huge Alter Bridge fans.
Yeah.
This was the best time I've ever seen Alter Bridge. They were absolutely unbelievable headlining that stage. It was wild.
Awesome. I don't think I would have. You probably would have had to do some running around then, wouldn't you?
Oh, I've done a lot of running around to stages on this festival. Yeah, I saw a lot of bands this weekend. I really made the most. Because the first, this is what I wanted to say before. The first Download, it was so much to take in. When you first go to Download and you go home from your first Download, it's so overstimulating and there's so much to process. I don't feel like I absorbed and actually stepped back and looked at the festival in 2005. This was the first time when I was like, we're going to walk around, we're going to look at all this stuff we didn't look at, I'm going to actually take it in. So this was the first time I sort of got the scale and got more of a sort of feel for the festival. So I appreciated it a lot more this year, and I went to watch a lot more bands than I did in 2005.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't really remember how many bands I saw at this stage. Honestly, I really don't.
Shall we go through the days, and then we'll go through which bands we saw? So
from the bottom, there was only 3 bands on this stage each day. They started a bit later. This was the only year that had the Snickers Bowl stage.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I don't think I went to that at all.
Should we tell people what the Snickers Bowl actually was, so they get an idea of what that is? Because that might sound like... So it wasn't a bowl of Snickers. It wasn't like a bowl ramp. So you were BMXing on it, skateboarding. Basically, it was like a sort of esports stage sponsored by Snickers, but they also had bands set up that played on it as well. So yeah, it was really cool to go and watch some of the BMXing and some of the skateboarding and stuff that was going on there. It was pretty sick. It was a really cool thing. Like, now that, we went through the stage of them doing the wrestling thing, they had the Snickers Bowl. It's kind of nice that Download every now and then just tries different stuff, and it makes you remember some years. But yeah. I actually thought that the Snickers Bowl was a really cool thing, because I think that those sorts of sports and metal and rock music go hand in hand. So I thought that was a really cool idea. And I just want to say, to this day, I think Gay for Johnny Depp is legitimately one of the best band names of all time. And I've always thought it. I've just thought, if I could start a band and get the TM for that name, I would call my band Gay for Johnny Depp, 100%.
Awesome. Yeah, so sorry, I did actually have written down what it was as well. I just ignored that bit. But yeah, like you said, it was a portable skateboard, a portable skate bowl with the stage at one end. Yeah, and like you said, it had skating during the day and a few bands in the evening. So on the Friday, like you said, it was Sintuition, Kiko, and Gay for Johnny Depp on that stage. I don't know much about any of those bands. Were you a fan of Gay for Johnny Depp at the time?
I wasn't. Yeah, they were good, but I had too many bands to see that weekend, so I didn't go and watch them. But in hindsight, I really wish that I went and seen them. But I'm pretty sure I don't know who was playing at the same time, but I did see a lot of bands on this day. So yeah.
Well, they were in the evening, so I don't know how late they went on till, or what time they sort of started. But yeah, okay. So going up, the next stage was the Gibson Guitars stage, or Gibson Pure Guitar stage.
Gibson Pure Guitar Stage, also sponsored by MySpace.com.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
And so this stage was, it's probably roughly where the fourth stage is in comparison to the main stage at the moment. It was sort of, actually looking at the main stage, it's sort of, say, probably 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock behind you.
Yeah.
I got some of my memories completely mixed up with these. Because I remember it being in a different place, some places. But I was looking at the map the other day, and then I thought, oh no, I do remember it being there. But some memories, it's in a different place. So it's weird how memories. It's because we didn't have cameras then. Like if you want,
we had no documentation.
Yeah, I have watched some videos and looked at some pictures. The pictures are rubbish. If you want to take pictures, you had to take a disposable camera, basically. Like a Boots disposable camera that had 10 photos. You had to do the wind-up thing to take the next photo.
I got some great photos from Download 2006 in my collection. Yeah, like actual photos. We took loads that year, so I got loads of photos in 2006. So yeah, I might share some of those on the Discord at some point. Yeah, I've also got loads of YouTube videos to recommend for everyone from this year. Ones that I went through YouTube and sort of handpicked as ones that will give everyone a good idea of the festival. So we'll put those, I'll send those to Adam so he can put those in the description, but I'll speak about a couple of those later in the podcast.
Have you got the Channel 4 one?
The Channel 4 one?
Yeah, Channel 4 did an overview of it.
No, I've not got that one, so we'll add that one in if we can find it.
Yeah, so just really quickly here then, because I'll probably forget later, Channel 4 covered the festival at this time as well, which is insane. You wouldn't get that now.
That is insane.
Let's go through some of these bands. So on Gibson's Guitar Stage, sponsored by MySpace.com, you got The Art of Dying, followed by Enter Shikari.
Enter Shikari. I mean, this is pretty much the start of Enter Shikari. You know, they'd only released their first album. Look at Enter Shikari right at the bottom.
Yeah.
And to think now that technically they've headlined the Download.
Yeah,
they headlined the Pilot. It was a Download festival. Doesn't matter how small it is, they still headlined one, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. The Audition, Animal Alpha, My Awesome Compilation, Bullets and Octane, Angelica. I don't remember seeing Angelica on this list before. Cathedral, Backyard Babies, and Ginger and the Sonic Circuits. Any of those that you were interested in at the time?
I hadn't got into Shikari yet. It was very early doors for Shikari. So no, I didn't see anyone on that stage that day. I was mostly on the main stage and the second stage. But I would have loved to have seen a really early Enter Shikari show, because I bet it would have been really cool to see them play the first album as little babies.
Yeah. Going up the poster then, there's on the second stage, you got the Snickers stage, which was the Snickers stage at the time. From the bottom, Throwdown, Gojira, Bleeding Through, Dredge, Fishbone, Clutch, In Me, Atreyu, headlined by the All American Rejects. What an incredible lineup that is. The second stage.
Amazing.
Just some massive bands there.
That really is. Yeah, I hadn't got into Gojira at this. I didn't get into Gojira till the last few years, so I didn't see them. I am, and forever will be, a huge Bleeding Through fan. I was 100% there, and it was amazing. I also watched In Me, who were great. I watched Atreyu. I did not watch All American Rejects. I
actually listened to a few of these bands today. I listened to Throwdown. Throwdown are quite good. They seem like they were a bit before their time. I could be thinking, I don't know. I've never liked Gojira. I don't understand how or why. It's not my thing. But they're massive. Okay. I don't understand how.
Oh yeah, Gojira are huge. Gojira are huge, and rightly so. They're very good. It depends how much you like prog metal.
Yeah.
If you like your music proggy, and typical French band, very proggy, very good. I mean, a lot of lines to draw between them and Mastodon. If you like Mastodon, you'll probably like Gojira. If you like Gojira, you'll probably like Mastodon.
Okay.
But yeah, I like prog metal, so
yeah,
I should have liked them at the time, but I think that even for Gojira, this was pretty early doors for them as well. So, I wasn't into it then.
And yeah, another thing we have said before, we probably should bring up at some point. This was before streaming. It was before you could get stuff easily online. Even YouTube, you couldn't really get that easily videos or anything.
Not that much. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, but, like labels and stuff hadn't started uploading like all the videos to YouTube at this point. So unless the band was on Kerrang or Scuzz, MTV2, or you owned their CD or you'd heard them on a Metal Hammer CD, you hadn't have heard of the other bands.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the luxury of streaming at this point. Some people did stream and download, but it wasn't on like a mainstream basis like it is now. So you would mostly, in the early download years, go and see the bands that you knew.
Yeah.
And then maybe catch some other bands. But some of the bands you would have absolutely no idea who they were and what they sounded like at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was going to say that you would have had to, like you said, you would have had to have bought the album or known someone who already likes them, who can borrow the album from or listen to them through them. So people like Throwdown, who I really liked today. I really enjoyed them. Fishbone, I had never heard of them before or since. But I quite like them. I don't like ska. Fishbone are a ska band who are still going. There's quite a lot of these bands who are still going. But I quite like them. Yeah. Is there anybody else on this one? Maybe not that I listened to today. But yeah, there was a lot of bands on here that I hadn't got into yet. And he said you hadn't, probably because it wasn't easy to listen to them at the time. It wasn't easy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, if I'd have bought a Gojira CD, I'm pretty sure I would have liked it. But I didn't buy one, so I didn't know who the hell they were.
Going up from there, the main stage was opened by Amplifier, and then Wicked Wisdom, Soil, Strapping Young Lad, Soulfly, Coheed and Cambria. I still want to say Cambria. Deftones, and then Tool. I listened to some Tool today. I said it ages and ages ago on the podcast, didn't I? I couldn't listen to them, and they weren't even on the streaming platforms for a long time either. But I listened to them today, and they are quite good. I like them. Yeah.
Ah, Tool, right. Tool are fantastic, right? But it's still weird that in 2006 they were only 2 or 3 albums deep at this point that they headlined Download Festival. It still felt weird when they headlined Download Festival in 2019, let alone all the way in 2006. So that's the only thing about this whole weekend where I was like, why are Tool headlining?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get it then. I don't get it now. I really like Tool, but the amount of huge bands at this time, I think Tool was a really weird pick for them to go with.
Yeah.
I still think that now, looking at this poster, it always jumps out to me to be very weird to have Tool headline, especially in 2006. So, yeah, very, very odd.
Yeah. I think I had a few friends who were into them. And it felt like if someone was into Tool, they were massively into Tool. They were like a super fan. All of their fans were super fans.
Oh yeah, Tool fans are. They're all. I'd call myself a casual Tool fan, which you don't hear of much.
Yeah.
Normally, if you like Tool, you love Tool. Like you know everything about it. You know all the songs. You know all the albums. Blah blah blah. Yeah, Tool fans go in hard on Tool, big time.
I'm pretty sure I saw Soulfly at this point. But yeah, I didn't really know many of the other ones. Did I listen to Amplifier today? I did. I wasn't a really big fan of Amplifier. Wicked Wisdom, that was Jada Pinkett Smith's band, and Will Smith was off to the side listening. Soil, I'm pretty sure I would have caught Soil. I listened to some Soil today, actually.
Yeah, good band.
Yeah. Strapping Young Lad, I quite enjoyed as well.
Oh, great. It's Devin Townsend. That's why.
Yeah. And did you know Coheed and Cambria came over without their drummer for this one?
Did they?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
So they had a big bust up with their drummer, and only a couple of days before leaving to come over here for it, and they basically said, "Wow, sort your shit out, or stay here." And he stayed there. So they had to get their drum tech to play.
Nice. Well, glad. I'm pretty sure people were glad that he did. I bet.
Yeah.
They were big at this point. They were really big, as you could say. They're quite high up on their on the main stage, which is crazy.
Yeah, what they were. Fuck me, they were. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, real high.
Have you got any particular memories you want to talk about?
I remember my sister making me miss like 4 songs of Deftones, and that pissed me off. So, but where the download market used to be there was a market in the arena, and it used to be along the track that went under the old Dunlop tyre.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Deftones are going to be on soon. She said, oh, we'll go look in the market for a little bit and we'll go back to Deftones. She was just faffing around for ages. And I could hear Chino from a distance, and I was like, we have to go. Like, you're actually making me miss Deftones now. And everyone was just drunk in the day, because at that point we were just getting constantly wasted at any opportunity. And to try and drag someone to go to Deftones with me was a whole thing. So I think I missed like 4 or 5 songs of Deftones, and I was really annoyed.
Yeah.
So that's I don't remember much of the Deftones set, apart from being annoyed that I'd missed the first 4 songs. But it's Deftones, so I'm sure it was good.
Yeah. Talking about the market stalls in there, though, another thing I forgot that used to happen that you don't see very often anymore is like the fire poi people and Diablo, kind of like circus tricks. They're not really circus tricks. They're cool tricks. I don't know how else to describe them, but yeah, all the stalls for them, they would have people out the front just like demonstrating them.
Yeah.
One of these years, it was the first time I ever saw somebody doing the ball thing that David Bowie does in Labyrinth.
Oh, with the like...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't think I've seen anybody doing it other than videos now. I've never seen anybody in the flesh doing it since, but he was really good. Yeah, he was really good at doing it. And it was...
That's cool.
It could have even been this year. I'm not 100% sure, but it was when the marketplace was around the track bit. It was like a... Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Old school. I love it.
It was awesome. But yeah, no, I don't remember a lot of this day, if I'm honest. Do you want to move on to the next day?
Well, I've got some things to mention.
Okay, cool.
So first of all, I'll mention these in between when we talk about the stages. So one thing that I remembered from this year is I got the coach to download this year. None of my friends, obviously, we're all from London, so we were all like early 20s. We had no reason to drive living in London in your early 20s. So we all had to get the coach together, which was quite fun. I've only ever got the coach 3 times to download, 2006, 7 and 13. But I thought the coach was really fun. You're all on there with your mates, all getting excited and absolutely buzzing. And I just have really good memories of getting the coach there. One thing that happened at old downloads that doesn't happen at download now is bottle fights.
Yeah.
Now, for those who weren't there at this time, you would obviously buy plastic bottles in the arena. They wouldn't give you cups, or you would get some cups, but most of the things that you were drinking, as it was so hot this year, you would get a bottle of Fanta, a bottle of Coke, whatever. And people would proceed to, one person would throw a bottle, then 10 people would throw a bottle, then 50 people, and you can see how that would sort of exacerbate. And by the end of it, there would legitimately be 1,000 plastic bottles being thrown in every direction possible. And it was insane. There are some great YouTube videos of it. We'll link one of those in the description. But yeah,
they were great.
It was insane. You were literally like, someone would scream bottle fight when it was like halfway through starting, and then you'd either pick up a bottle and be a part of it, or you would just guard yourself. Pass them, and everyone would just be like,
yeah.
It was insane. Like, it's just one of those things that doesn't happen at download anymore. It's a pure old school download thing. Yeah. But watching the videos of this just gave me so many hilarious memories
see any videos of this. Yeah,
bottle fights. So
awesome.
Yeah, after you finish this, or pause it and go watch in the description there. But it was funny, but if the bottle had some fluid in it, it could be quite dangerous.
Yeah.
So you had to kind of, beware. One more thing quickly as well with projectiles. Download also had the amazing idea of giving everyone free Snickers bars.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think...
Like, that wasn't going to be thrown at people. And I know it was hot, right? But a Snickers bar is rock hard. Like, if you hit someone in the face with a Snickers bar, it hurts. Yeah. And they were just being... you could be anywhere and get hit in the face or the head with a Snickers bar. I remember being in the queue to get into the arena, and we always made jokes about our friend Molly having a big head.
Yeah.
And we were all standing there, and one must have come, we saw it coming. We were like, everyone duck! Boom, straight in the back of her head. Fucking boom, Snickers bar. It looked like it really hurt as well. So, yeah, that just reminded me of that. But yeah, there were many projectiles this year. If it wasn't a bottle you would get hit in the face with, it was a Snickers bar.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I was given one. So, and again, I remember being, I remember the extreme sports in a different place. I thought I remembered it being sort of over to the left. No, maybe I'm thinking of a different year. Ignore me. But yes, I'm not surprised there was lots of Snickers there, because 2 stages were for Snickers. They would. I wonder if it worked. I wonder if, obviously that's a massive marketing scheme. Sponsor the stage, take probably, must have been thousands of Snickers.
Oh God,
thousands and thousands of Snickers. Some of the bands backstage had freezers with the Snickers ice creams, and they're just full of Snickers ice cream. So they just sat eating them all day.
I love it. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, it was great. I don't think they ever came back, but
no,
it was really good. Cool memory to remember that Snickers once Download was once sponsored by a chocolate bar, which is great.
Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of Monster. Was it? It might have been the year after, maybe 2007, when it was like all Monster sponsored, or Red Bull or something like that.
Yeah, 2007. I don't want to say what also was there because I don't want to spoil it for the next. But there was also another food item that sponsored Download 2007.
Awesome. Yeah, you had, because it was so dry as well. There was a load of stones going back to the bottles. A load of stones, wasn't there, down by the front of the stage, and people were like filling the bottles with bloody stones. Luckily, I didn't go that close to the front of the stage.
Nutters. They're like, I can't. There's no way of me. I'll just understate how insane people were this year because of the heat. Like, it made people. Everyone was a lunatic.
Yeah.
There was no calm, normal people at this Download. It was just everyone was just constantly doing something mental. It was crazy.
Yeah. Should we go from the bottom up on this Saturday? Then?
Let's do it.
So on the Snickers Bowl stage, there was the Hedrons, Get Amped, and Get Cape, Wear Cape, Fly.
Another fantastic band name.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But the Hedrons, I found out, so they were an all-female band from Scotland. Can't remember where, Glasgow. I'm not going to take a guess. Very odd thing. They only did like 1 album or 2 albums, maybe not very, very much. They weren't together for very long. They have music on Spotify, which was released on Spotify last year. Unless it's another The Hedrons band. I don't think it is. So I don't know why they've only put that on last year.
Okay.
Might be worth looking into a bit more. But I quite liked it. I really enjoyed it. It was very like,
awesome,
upbeat. Yeah. And Get Amped. I think I'd listen to Get Amped as well. Get Amped. No, I couldn't listen to Get Amped. They split up. But there was a Get Amped podcast. And there was a big write-up, like 3 or 4 pages in my book of of the lead singer. They were obviously playing the Snickers Bowl. But he was also doing press for the weekend. And so he was running around interviewing people. And then he was being interviewed himself as well. And one thing I saw in his write-up, there was a big poster that all the bands signed. A big, it sounds like a big poster. And I've not heard of that before. I don't know if that's something they do every year.
I've never heard of it.
Wouldn't surprise me. That is cool. That's the kind of thing you would want to do, like get all the bands signed.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so that's something I would like to ask. We'll keep in mind, and I'll write it down at some point. We'll ask our almighty leader if it is a thing.
Almighty leader. I'm surprised that Download haven't done what Bloodstock do, because Bloodstock have a museum.
Yeah,
where they do artwork and bits of history from Bloodstock and loads of stuff, and like a Download museum on site with loads of rare stuff. I mean, I don't know how much stuff they've kept. Maybe they just haven't kept anything. But
yeah,
to have loads of rare stuff, like rare T-shirts and signed stuff and stuff from all the old years, that would be, I mean, it's the 20th anniversary. That may be in the pipeline. Yeah. I don't know. But I think that, people like us and people listen to this podcast, we're so into Download Festival. I feel like that would be amazing if all the proper downloaders, the real nerds, could go to a place and we could all nerd out at this like old school Download collection. I think that would be absolutely incredible.
That would be, yeah.
Really cool.
Awesome. Moving on up the poster here, we've got Stone Guard on the opening the Gibson Guitars stage, sponsored by MySpace.com as well. I'm going to say that every time because it's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I think they were like a Swedish band. They weren't for very long. Open Bracket were up next. And I had another friend who was very into them. I think they were before their time. No, it was 8-bit sort of chiptune music.
Oh, nice. Yeah, never listened.
But they're not on Spotify. I had to find that on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
A bit too much 8-bit chiptune for me. But yeah, so moving on. Exit 10. I have listened to them recently because we spoke about them briefly, didn't we? Maybe
Great
off
band.
the podcast I was. Yeah.
Very good.
And then Living Things, It Dies Today, Manic, Flyleaf, 10 Years, This Is Menace, Louis, Mondo Generator, Ruben, and headlined by Killing Joke. I have a feeling some of these might have had to pull out because I looked at the lineup originally through Wikipedia, and there's a few of these I don't recognise. Maybe I just overlooked them, but I could be wrong. Yeah, Flyleaf, I don't know. I might be wrong.
Well, I could tell you right now, I'm a massive Killing Joke fan.
Yeah.
I was not then. I got into Killing Joke way too late. It makes me feel sick. I wish I could go back in time and see Killing Joke in 2006.
Yeah.
That would be, just incredible. But oh well, is what it is. I never saw them. It makes me sad. That's one of the things that I love looking through these lineups and looking at all the bands that I did see. But I hate looking at the lineups with hindsight and looking at all the bands that I didn't go and watch, which is so annoying. But yeah, that's I didn't watch anyone on that stage.
I don't know if I did. I don't remember at all. I don't. But yeah, Killing Joke. Yeah, a friend of mine, Bill. He's coming this year. You'll meet him. He's a big Killing Joke fan, and he played me some at his house over the summer. And I was like, yeah, this is really good. I'm going to listen to them. And I never got around to it. So, but I did enjoy what I heard.
I'll send you my Killing Joke playlist.
Awesome. Yeah.
That'll be good to listen to. Yeah.
On the Snicker stage on the Saturday, it started with Coma, spelled Khoma, Johnny Truant, and then sixth, Devil Driver, Henry Rollins, spoken word, Billy Talent, Secret Machines. I was meant to look them up. But yeah, Within Temptation, Opeth, and Alter Bridge.
Very good stage.
Both days on the second stage are awesome so far.
Second stage for all 3 days is insane.
I haven't looked properly at the third.
It's mental.
I'm waiting. We're building suspense.
Yeah, it's just mental. Like all 3 of those second stages could be headline stages now, and they're all just ridiculous. It's just stupid. That is, I'd go to a festival just for those 3 stages. It's mad. Yeah. Did you watch? I'll just say quickly. Sixth were incredible, and I have a very vivid memory of it because Sixth were a very DIY band, especially in the early days. And I remember that like a lot of the other bands that I'd seen in the day, because I'd gone to the big stages, there are people setting up for them and all that. And then Sixth came out, setting up their own shit. They get on stage, they're singing, they've all got like cans of Carling in their hand, not even poured it into a cup. And I just loved that, how DIY and like just how normal they were acting, even though musically they are just insane. Yeah. Like the talent is immense in that band. And I always remember that. I always remember how down to earth it seemed being at that Sixth show. Yeah. And it was really good. And then I stayed for Devil Driver, which was just mind-blowing. Like, I've never seen such a big circle pit in a tent before in my life, ever. It was great.
I mean, they've broken so many records. I was just about to say, is that the one where they broke the record for circle pits? But
no, that was 2009.
Yeah, thought it was a bit later. But they probably broke a record at that point as well, and then re-broke it. 2000. Yeah. I don't remember if I was really into Devil Driver at this point. I probably liked a few of their songs. No, I don't.
This was only second album. This was Fury of Our Maker's Hands. This was only second album. This would have been. So I think the second album came out in 2005. So yeah, they were early doors for Devil. I mean, obviously Dez was big because of Cold Chamber. Everyone knew who he was. Yeah. But for Devil Driver themselves, this was very, very early doors. But they were great. They were great. They really were.
Awesome.
They played "Come and Meet the Wretched," And that's the song that they got the giant mosh pit to, and it was just like, this is... Not only were they fantastic, but the actual crowd and everything were just really up for Devil Driver. It was good fun.
Yeah, no, I don't think I saw them. I definitely wasn't there for Henry Rollins' spoken word. I remember seeing so much about it, and I'm like, I didn't even know who Henry Rollins was at the time. So I wasn't bothered about going to him. And if I was there before he came on, I think I would remember. But yeah, look, Secret Machines. Oh, sorry, you got Billy Talent above them. You're probably a Billy Talent fan. I'd take a guess.
A few songs. I'm not a huge Billy Talent fan, but there are a few songs that I definitely like. I've never delved into them completely, but they do, yeah. Was it Devil in the Midnight Mass?
Yeah, that was a good one.
That is an absolute banger of a tune.
Yeah.
It was a banger then, it's still a banger now. Love that song. But I was at that point I was seeing other bands on the main stage when we get that.
Yeah. Because who are Secret Machines? I should have looked them up. But they're in the middle of all of these massive bands. They're above
I
Six,
have no idea.
Devil Driver, Henry Rollins, Billy Talent. I mean, Johnny Truant. Johnny Truant were quite big back then as well. I am
definitely.
You know what? I'm looking them up
up and coming, up and coming band.
Because Johnny Truant was touring with Six a lot, weren't they? Or am I thinking of? Were they weren't on the Iowa tour?
They probably
were. Iowa tour?
I don't know. Can't remember. Why is it making me log back into my Spotify? Fuck off.
You should log back into your MySpace.
I have, but they purged all of the they purged loads of photos.
Did they?
In like 2013. So when you go in now, a lot of everyone's photos are missing, which is a bit shit.
Secret Machines.
Secret Machines still have 59,000 monthly listeners.
Yeah, it's still going, yeah.
So, still going, all the way back.
2000 to
2002.
Sorry, were you going to say the same thing?
Sorry, no, I was just going to say it looks like, they've got albums from 2002 on there, so they must have been going even a little while back in 2006. So, I might have to give those guys a listen.
Yeah. So, on Wikipedia there, from 2000 to 2010, and then must have had a hiatus until 2020, until present. Who are they? The members played... I don't know. I'm not going to carry on reading. That's interesting, though. Seeing a band that neither of us ever heard of in the middle of all those awesome bands.
Yeah. Fair play to them.
Within Temptation, I don't think I saw them, but I was thinking during the week... Because I said last episode, didn't I, actually, that when the record labels decide they need bands of a certain genre... Like Evanescence came along and they're like, oh, we need Nightwish to come over and be big over here, and then they got Within Temptation, and there's probably been a few since, but they're all very similar, very close to each other. When are we going to get rock music with a male operatic singer? they probably exist.
That's true,
and if not, they should.
Yeah, they probably do.
that would be probably awesome.
Do. I just think that a female sort of operatic voice suits metal.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But nobody thought that before Evanescence. Well, no. I should say...
Yeah, well, they probably did.
Nightwish were way before Evanescence, I believe.
Oh, way before, yeah. But I think that because Evanescence got big, they broke the mold a little bit, didn't they? And then female-fronted bands started to get a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So, you had bands like Lacuna Coil that were way before Evanescence that were big, but Evanescence definitely pushed female vocals in a upward direction, which is really cool. Because then you had bands like Arch Enemy, were just fucking unbelievable. Like I love that band so much, and that was like the first time I'd heard a woman scream just as good, if not better, than any male singer. I was like, holy shit, this is incredible. So yeah, definitely Evanescence had a lot to push female sort of metal singers in the right direction. So it done a lot of good, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely,
yeah. But yeah, I'm still waiting on the male operatic singer. It might not be very good, but it was just like a shower thought. but I need to listen to more Within Temptation. I had them come on just randomly on Spotify the other day, and I was thinking I could get into this. Like obviously bands change a lot over years. I mean, I was quite into Evanescence, and I tried Nightwish. Nightwish were okay. And then Within Temptation came after, and I was like, these are okay as well, but I didn't take to Within Temptation, really.
Yeah, okay.
So I just ignored them for a long time, but they probably put out a lot of albums, and they probably put out a lot of different sounding stuff as well. You know, they probably didn't sound anything like they did when they first came out. So
yeah, it might be worth going across their sort of range of music now and seeing what tracks pop
up. Because I mean, look at we spoke about Bring Me Horizon. 6 albums, very very different to each other.
Yeah, exactly, very different.
And Alter Bridge, yeah. You said you were a massive fan.
Yeah, huge, great set, absolutely brilliant. Loved every second of it. Crowd were extremely loud on that stage because they always were. And Alter Bridge were really fresh at the time. I think their second album had just come out or was just about to come out, and everyone was just super pumped. And hearing Miles Kennedy just sing live was, for the first time, was like, holy hell, this guy's voice is insane. And obviously, you know, in the bands, as they get on and on, they're not as hungry for it. But when you watched Alter Bridge at this time, they were really hungry to impress people. And they definitely impressed me, 100%.
Yeah, it's the same story with them, to be honest. I must have heard a few songs back on probably like Kerrang and Scuzz, and I wasn't a fan. But again, I had some come on recently on my Spotify just randomly, and I was like, oh, who's this? This sounds all right. And realised it was Alter Bridge. And I thought, yeah, I probably, it is the kind of music I would really like normally.
Well, I know how much you like your, you like your heavy stuff, right? I would say that the best sort of song I reckon you could listen to get into them, which is pure riffage and pure Miles Kennedy just going off on one song called Addicted to Pain.
Yeah.
It is just full throttle, Lesby Avenue.
All right.
Let's go. If you listen to that, you'll be like, all right, shit, I'm going to listen to some more Alter Bridge because that's actually really sick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I know you don't like to wait around. You don't like bands that faff around and take ages to get to a place. You want what you want, and you want it now. And that's fair enough. And that is the song I would recommend you to say, this is what we're going to give you. Let's be having it.
I'm going to write it down now.
So, yeah, Addicted to Pain.
Awesome. And then on the main stage on a Saturday were Satyricon. Oh, that just brought back some memories, actually. Blood Simple, Arch Enemy, Alice in Chains, Stone Sour, Avenged Sevenfold, Trivium, Korn, and then Metallica.
That is ridiculous. Again, that is just...
Yeah.
Arch Enemy, Alice in Chains, Stone Sour, Avenged Sevenfold, Trivium, Korn, and then Metallica. That is actually mental.
Yeah.
Like, what? Holy hell. That's wowzer, that is. My God. This whole festival's ridiculous.
It was.
That stage is just absolutely stupid. That's mental.
It's strange. It's as if they sort of try and pad it out a little bit more now. They have a lot more bands, but
I just think that the world of rock and metal is much more diverse now than it was. So it feels like it's more dislocated. Yeah. Where at this time it kind of feels like all the bands fell into the same region, even though they obviously are different bands. Whereas now it can look more disjointed than it actually is. So when you look at lineups like that, I mean, that was pretty much a standard lineup for a festival back then.
Yeah, that's true.
So at the time, it didn't feel out of place. Where you look back at it now and you think, Jesus Christ, that's fucking ridiculous. But that is the bands that were about in 2006. Yeah. So
I suppose
you have to take it with a bit of hindsight.
Yeah, I suppose it's easier to get into music and get yourself out there a bit now.
Yeah, exactly.
Back at this time, most bands were probably just waiting for record labels to come and see them at a gig and go, yes, we want you.
Also, I feel like smaller bands are given more of a limelight now than they were back then.
Yeah.
I feel like in the early days, I would have been a lot less likely to go and watch a small band than I am now. Not that I wouldn't have, but there was so many big bands that were booked. I feel like the smaller bands got a rough end of the stick, where now I think they even it out a bit more. So smaller bands will have bigger crowds, which makes sense because if you don't give love to the bottom, they're never going to get to the top. It makes more sense now than it did then. It's just that then it did feel like more of a separation between the big bands and the small bands, which is why a lot of these lineups just look ridiculous. So I like it better now. I know these lineups are stupid and that, but I like it now. I like discovering new bands. I like watching smaller bands. I like it more now than I did then. So yeah, it's changed. Downloads evolved with the times, which is what we want.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I said it's the bands that were available. It's the bands that would have been played on the TV channels, the Scuzz and Kerrang, and they knew that's what people liked. So that's what they got. I guess now.
Yeah.
It's not so centralized to one place. People listen to stuff from all over, and so they can get other bands. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, music's just a lot more accessible, so the bands are more spread out. So,
and Metallica did well. No, I read that, haven't I? Yeah. So this was the year Korn, Jonathan Davis went off sick. He pulled a sickie. He phoned the doctor and said,
he did. Yeah.
Can't go to work. Give me a sick note.
Hi guys, can't come into work today. Yeah, he had some sort of blood issue. It was like a blood disease or something that he got, or a blood infection. So he was in a really bad way. Apparently, you couldn't make it at all. So props to Korn, because they still wanted to play, and then a couple of days before they contacted people. Or they contacted people on the day. I can't remember what the story was. But, people they knew in other bands.
Yeah.
If they would want to come and sing some Korn songs, because they didn't want to disappoint the fans and cancel altogether. So this was a really weird Korn set, but it's also the only time you're going to see Korn karaoke, as everyone called it, which is like 5 amazing singers singing Korn songs with Korn.
Yeah.
It's a one-off. It's just like in 2004 when Joey played drums for Metallica. You're never going to see these things again. They only happened once, and it was the original Korn lineup, minus Jonathan Davis, with other people singing. It's a one-off thing you're never going to see again, which is why it's so cool.
Yeah. But I know I've said on the podcast before, my memory of this was it was at a very, very intimate, small stage. Where it obviously it wasn't. It was the main stage just before Metallica.
Yeah, main
stage just before Metallica. I see. My memory, it was like 2 p.m. A very intimate, small stage. Few hundred people there, 300-400 people there. I don't know why. That's just what my memory. That's
it's weird. Maybe you sort of were just zoomed in on what was there, not looking at other people in the crowd.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was great. Yeah, so Jonathan Davis didn't turn up, and you had Corey Taylor, M Shadows, Matt Heafy, Des from Devil Driver, and Benji from Skindred, all singing Korn songs with Korn. It was brilliant.
There was 6, wasn't there?
Was there 6? Was there? Have I missed one?
Consult.
They're all the people I remember.
There
may have been another one, but those were the guys that I remember.
The guy from 10
singing.
Years. I don't remember his name.
Oh, okay. I don't know who that is, so I don't remember
that. I will find it, because I'm going to be reading from this book in a little bit. So I'll find it when I consult the book.
Sweet.
And Metallica, Metallica played Master of Puppets from start to finish.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was there for this. I would have stayed after Korn, but I don't bloody remember it either.
I remember going back to the tent after Korn, grabbing loads of drinks, downing loads of shit, and then rushing for Metallica.
Because we could back then. I came across a map for 2005. I think I might have posted it already on our Instagram, looking for a 2006 map. It wouldn't have changed very much, but like you got the campsites, you got the village on the grass where it used to be, and then straight into the arena. It was right next to it. You just literally just had to walk across the racetrack, and you were in the arena from the village edge. Yeah. So you could do that then. It was like a 5-10 minute walk maximum.
Even from Blue Camp was just past the village. It was like the first one before the arena. So we always stayed in Blue Camp. So it was Blue Camp. You could go straight from the arena through the village into Blue Camp in about 20 minutes. Down loads of drinks, get loads of stuff. You're back in another 20. So you've only been away for 40 minutes. So it was in this days when it was in the infield. Obviously, it was a lot closer to the campsite. So it was really easy to go back to your tents and then come back to the arena with basically not missing much at all. Yeah. So that's what we've done for Metallica. I watched Avenged as well, and Trivium and Korn on that day.
Yeah.
And then, actually, it would have been, we watched Korn, then Alter Bridge. That was it. Sorry, no, I'm thinking of Guns N' Roses. So we watched Avenged, Trivium, Korn, then went to Alter Bridge, then watched the rest of Metallica.
Awesome. Yeah, a lot of running around. But again, it wasn't too bad at the time. I mean, it's not too bad now either, is it? It was a bit more spread out.
But, I mean, there was a few years, 2008 comes to mind. Can't wait to get there and talk about how much walking we done that festival.
Yeah.
But when it went through the transitional year.
It's such a weird year.
But yeah, it's a really weird year. Yeah, 2008 is a weird year. The lineup's weird. The camps were weird. The fucking thing, the arena was in a weird place. It was very strange, but we'll get there.
I know my memory is
That's a strange one.
Of what the arena looked like as well, the main stage. So, do you know what? I haven't even looked at any pictures for 2008 for a long time. We'll get there. We'll wait. We'll get there.
We'll look at it at the time.
Yeah.
But we're talking about 2006 now. So, yeah. But yeah, Metallica were great. They were great.
Were they?
They were brilliant. I remember them being really, really loud. I felt like after Korn, someone had literally gone up to the main stage volume and just gone, right, Metallica are on. Because I remember it being super loud. Yeah. But yeah, that's my only real recollection is that they were really good and it was really loud. And I got absolutely hammered after Metallica. My God.
Awesome. Yeah, no, so obviously this is the first time they'd played again since 2004, since they didn't have the drummer. So I think I probably would have stayed for it and sort of gone, well, might as well see what they're like, with the whole band. I probably didn't know much about the hatred for Lars at this point either. I was not really, I don't know. But yeah, I do not remember going. I would have done, but I don't remember much about it at all.
Overall, though, I mean, what a fantastic day of music. That is just wow. I mean, I'd give anything to go back in time to be able to go to the Saturday of 2006. It would just be, oh God, amazing.
Yeah. Trivium, I'm not sure if Trivium were as good as the year before. They opened 2005, didn't they?
One of the best sets I've ever seen in Download.
And they
top 10 for sure.
They were absolutely incredible. I don't know if it was the like too much hype behind them by this point. The expectation was too high. But I don't think they were, because I probably would remember this one as well as the 2005 one.
Yeah, I can still, if I close my eyes, I can picture myself standing there looking at Matt on the stage in 2005. That is embedded in my memory. 2006, looking back at pictures, I can remember it, but I can't remember it just closing my eyes. So I remember it being good, but yeah, 2005 was, that was like a once in a lifetime performance that no one was expecting, and they were just like, holy shit, this band are fucking incredible. Yeah. And this was genuinely the time when Trivium were literally expected to be the next Metallica.
Yeah.
I cannot understate how massive Trivium were in 2006. They were absolutely huge. They were giant at this time. They should have been playing above Korn. they were massive. So, them to play that high up makes sense at this time. But I remember them being good, but I don't remember anything specifically about them playing. But yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't so keen on the second album as I was the first album.
But
yeah, Crusade's all right. I didn't like it as much as I liked the first one.
They put their own chant into a song on a studio album. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you can't do that. So yeah, I think I went off them a little bit. Maybe like the big-headedness that... Oh no, it probably wasn't big-headedness.
They were probably just really trying
to
get big. That's why,
You do this live, you don't put it on a song on a studio album. Hey, fuck off. I lost a lot of respect for them for that.
What song is that? We Are the Fire or whatever
remember. It was one of the first ones they released.
It was
from
called
the
something like, it was called... Yeah, it was called something. I need to look that up now because I want to remember. Yeah, I did not like that song. I still don't like that song.
And that is why I only listened to one Trivium album.
One album, boy.
One album again.
Unfortunately, you missed out on a lot of good shit. Where is it? The Crusade, Ignition. That's it. Yeah, I was right. Anthem, We Are the Fire. That was the one.
They called it Anthem. Put a chant, a live chant
In hindsight, at the time, I just thought I didn't like this song, but in hindsight now, that's so lame.
Yeah.
Like, that's so lame. But yeah. Oh, Trivium. Good boys. Good boys. Very good boys.
Yeah, they were. Yes. Yeah, they are.
Good boys. They are good boys.
Let's. Is there anything we're missing from that? I don't think I really watched anybody else. I said.
Oh, and Arch Enemy.
Yeah.
Arch Enemy were great.
I think I was there for them. I don't remember much about it, though. Stone Sour. Was this the year they had football on? When Stone Sour were playing?
I was going to say, yes, the football was on. It was the 2006 World Cup when Stone Sour were playing and a load of people watched it. But you've just triggered another memory. I remember M. Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold coming out in a cut sleeve England shirt and singing the whole set. And everyone was like, that's sweet. Yeah. He's wearing an England shirt. It's like playing up to everyone because he knows everyone's watching the football. And he was in like the proper old sick red 2006, Stevie G era with the sleeves cut off. It looked really cool. I was like, they don't do that much. You never see someone from like a really heavy metal band wearing like a football shirt. So I was like, that's sick. That's sick.
So anybody who wasn't there. So my memory of it, I could be wrong. I've said it a few times. It's been wrong. So I could be wrong about this. You're standing quite a bit back from the stage. You're sort of in the middle of the stage, say, in line with it. About where the little left-hand turn goes towards the third stage now. Say you're in line with that. Mm-hmm. This would be just to your right. There's a massive screen in the arena just to the right as you were stood there. Am I right?
This is not false memory. This is right. Yeah.
So yeah, you could be stood watching.
It was in a really weird place. Yeah, it was in a really weird place.
Great place. It's a better place than back in the village in a tent.
Yes.
I think we skipped. Like we said before, we must have been in the same little tent watching the football at the same time. We didn't know each other. We were in the same tent back in 2006 watching. I can't remember, who did we say? Was it sixth?
Did we say sixth? Yeah. We could have been standing right next to each other. Never would have known.
I might have. That's accidentally licked your armpit back in the day. Oh, I just don't remember.
I'm almost sure that the amount of downloads we've both been together, we must have come in with it like at most at least a few meters of each other. Like if we haven't walked past each other or looked in each other's direction, we've definitely been within a few meters of each other at some point at some download in the past, which is really cool and weird to think about. Yeah, that is crazy.
Let's not go into that. I love that kind of stuff. Let's not go into that. Let's move on.
I have more things to talk about first.
Okay.
So one thing that doesn't happen again at Download now, which used to happen then, is, of course, back in the day, there was no contactless card payments. Everything was cash. And for some reason, Download every year decided to have about 4 fucking cash machines. You would wait in the queue for cash for about 25 minutes minimum a time. The queues were stupid. Same for water, which had an adverse effect on people.
Yeah.
At this point at Download, there were not enough cash machines and not enough water points. They obviously just did not want people to drink any water or be hydrated at all at this festival. Everyone was purely dehydrated the entire time, which is why certain things happen that we'll talk about. But yeah, I always remember the queues for cash machines just being... You'd be like, I need cash. Got no cash left. And you'd have to fucking wait in 25 minutes waiting in a fucking queue for cash. It was so... They had like those really slow... old school cash points that made you pay £1.50 every time you got cash out as well. It was just like you'd waited 25 minutes and then you'd be charged £1.50 out your own money, as well as waiting 25 minutes to get cash. That always sticks in my memory from this Download. The amount of time I spent in cash waiting for cash machines when I could have fucking been watching bands. And the other thing that stood out to me from a video that I watched that we will link in the description, how I cannot put in your head unless you were there and then when you watch these videos how the campsites now are so clean, it's unbelievable. There's hardly any rubbish anywhere. You do get some people that are messy. Download in 2006 looked like the set of a post-apocalyptic movie. It was a dust bowl covered in rubbish. The campsites, back then we weren't recycling. I wasn't bringing bags and putting stuff in. I was just throwing all my shit on the floor, and everyone else was throwing all their shit on the floor. The place was a fucking disgrace. It was a mess. I feel so sorry for the people that had to clean up for the first 5 or 6 downloads, because it was really bad. Really, really bad. Piles of rubbish in the middle, piles of rubbish in the aisles. It was like a wasteland. It was just those memories always come back to me, how disgusting the campsites were. They were just rough as hell. Now it's incredible. It's wow, there's no rubbish anywhere. Everyone's so nice now. Back then, no one gave a fuck.
No. Yeah, no, okay. That's cool. And well, you made me think of the recycling people for the cups in the arena as well. I was for some reason I thought you were talking about that, and then I was shocked when you said a campsite again. I was like, oh yeah, you were talking about campsite.
Yeah.
But yeah, that didn't exist at this point either. There was nobody. They weren't paying people to go around collecting all the rubbish.
Even the arena floor is just bottles. It was just now when you see a band, if you stay after like I do, I'll tell you all my download tricks on my YouTube videos. Don't worry about that. But I like to stand still, shall I say, after the headliners finish. Once everyone's gone, there's rubbish there because it's at the front of a thing that's been going on all day. But I mean, it was 2 foot deep at the front of just bottles. It was you didn't realise the whole time you've been watching all the sets you were just standing on bottles. You hadn't actually touched the grass for the last 2 sets because you were just standing on rubbish and bottles. So that always came flooding back to me when I watched these videos, just how dirty and fucking disgusting the place was, and how much work and effort the team at Download Early Doors must have had to clean this place up, because it was a right state.
Cool. There's a few things I want to talk about the poster generally as well. I know you said about the colours earlier, but yeah. Let's go on to the Sunday. And on the Snickers Bowl was Evergrey, Betty Curse, and Viking Skull. The third one, Viking Skull, same as the other two stages. Cape joined up, Get Cape, Wear Cape Fly, and Viking Skull. You can't have better band names than that, really, can you?
Yeah, that Snickers Bowl stage just had the best names of the entire festival. Maybe the best names of any lineup on any stage ever. This one takes the biscuit. It's so good.
But yeah, I don't think I went to see any of them. I think I said earlier, I don't remember what this looked like, so I might not have gone over to it at all. I was meaning to look it up, but that's one of the things I didn't get around to doing. On the Gibson's guitar stage, myspace.com, started with I Defy, Streetlight Youth, Winterville, The Zico Chain, Lauren Harris, Voodoo 6, Bring Me the Horizon, Mendid even, Blindside, Darkest Hour, Monine, Skindred, Lordy, and Sick of It All. Not many of those I really knew of.
I'd seen Mendid were a Scottish band. They were hardcore / metalcore band.
Right.
I'd seen them support Bleeding Through loads in London. They were really good. I actually spoke to the singer a few times. They were a great band. I never watched them that weekend, but they were really, really good. Bring Me the Horizon. I mean, you can't see an earlier Bring Me the Horizon show at a festival than that. It was Eugene took me. It was mental. It's just insane. I think I only caught a couple of the songs, and then I walked off. I wasn't into Bring Me at that point, but I did manage to catch a couple of songs, and it was just a tiny stage. This is pure first album deathcore Bring Me the Horizon, and it was just fucking limbs. The whole tent was just limbs. It was something to behold. I was not into them, did catch a few songs, and then I walked off and can't remember who else I went to watch at that point. But yeah, I'm glad I caught a little sneak peek of sort of early Bring Me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, look at it. Middle of the day, third stage, and now they're headlining.
Yeah, fantastic. I love this. Whenever we go through these old lineups, it's like the Biffy one on the 2005 or 4 one that we said. These bands that start off small, it is possible for your band to start on the small stage and eventually one day be headlining the festival. If things go your way, luck goes your way. A lot of luck in the music industry. You have to be good as well, obviously, and I think Bring Me the Horizon are fucking amazing. And yeah, fair play to them. Look at that tiny little third stage. And this year, we're going to be standing them, watching them on the Big Boy stage. Pretty cool.
Yeah, Lordi, I'm pretty sure we would have seen Lordi. This was the year that they won Eurovision with Hard Rock Hallelujah.
Yep.
I don't know much of Sick of It All, but I want to. I want to listen to them for reasons that will become clear in a little bit. Wait, bait.
Okay. Wait, bait. I watched Skindred as well. I watched Skindred and Lordi.
Cool. I don't think I knew of Skindred at this point.
Yeah, me and my brother were early doors with Skindred. We had I had the original version of the first album, the black one, the original 2002 pressing before it got re-released. So we were really early Skindred fans.
Nice.
So we went to see it. They were excellent, really good. Not the Tour de Force live that they are now, but they were still really good.
Moving up on the second stage on the Sunday, started with God Forbid, then Zebrahead, Soilwork, nice. From first to last, Fight Star, Aiden, 100 Reasons, 18 Visions, Alexis on Fire, and then The Prodigy.
That's a great
It
stage.
is, yeah.
That's a nut. Again, that Snicker stage this festival was just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Did you watch anyone that day on that stage?
I don't think so. Maybe 18 Visions. Was it 18 Visions that did I Wish I Was a Girl? No, I'm thinking somebody else, aren't I?
Don't think so.
I wish I was a girl so damn much. Do.
That is not 18 Visions, no. 18 Visions are like sort of hardcore metal-y with a little bit of emo thrown in there. Tower of Snakes, that's a really good 18 Visions song. They had a few bangers.
There definitely was one 18 Visions song I really liked, and I think I might have gone to see him just for that. I didn't really know who Fight Star were at the time. Soilwork, I didn't know who they were. Zebrahead have been eluding me all my life. I've never seen them, but I don't think I intended to see them this year in 2006. So no, I don't think I really went to see anybody on here. Possibly 18 Visions.
A little weird thing is, from first to last, their singer is now known as Skrillex.
Really?
Skrillex was the singer of the emo band from first to last. They are incredible. He is a fantastic singer, as well as a dubstep artist. And a little nugget as well, they had Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit playing bass for them live at Download.
Did they? No, I did not know that.
I watched the whole set and it was fantastic. Again, another one-off thing that you're never going to see. At this point, he wasn't in Limp Bizkit. He was playing bass on the tour from first to last. So I saw Skrillex and Wes Borland in an emo band.
Awesome.
So that was another one-off Download experience that you're never going to get again. And it was sick. Yeah. They have got some bangers as well. They are a really, really great band. Great singer. Yeah, and that was really cool to see. I saw Aiden. I saw them as a sort of successor to the Misfits. A little bit more emo, but they sounded very punk at the same time. But people hated them.
I remember that. They weren't.
And I don't know why, because musically they're fantastic, but they were all gothed up. So obviously people didn't like that at this point. Like Motionless in White and bands are now. That's what Aiden were like back in the day, and it just wasn't. People just didn't get it. So this is another cool thing I always remember. When they came out, the singer of Aiden had an umbrella, and he came out with an umbrella because I've never seen so many bottles thrown at a band before they've even started playing a note of music before. I mean, bottles coming from all directions, literally hitting these poor guys. All they wanted to do was play some tunes. The gig was excellent, and they obviously turned a lot of people around, but I mean, all of them were just batting off, flying whatever the whole time. I'm sure there was some Snickers up there as well at some point, probably. But I always remember him coming out, and he had it, and then he opened it, and then all these bottles were just being thrown. For the first song, he was just singing under an umbrella. I'm sure there must be video footage of it somewhere. But yeah, it was mental. I've never seen so much hate for a band before. It was
apparently
crazy.
The same happened to Fight Star because of Charlie Simpson being in.
Oh, that's such a good. I never watched them that year, but I love Fight Star.
Was it?
Yeah, it was Busted. Yeah.
So just because of who he was, he decided to. Yeah, I don't mind Fight Star. I haven't listened to too much of this stuff, but it was all right.
Oh man, Woo. Fight Star are great. They've morphed into sounding more like Deftones than Fightstar now, but they are a brilliant band. Love them. Love Charlie. Love Fightstar. And I just want to say quickly, and I watched The Prodigy, and it's the best time I've ever seen The Prodigy.
Really?
They were, wow. In that tent was fucking going off. People kept on climbing up the, the steel rafters.
Pictures of that, yeah.
And they had to keep stopping the gig over and over again because everyone was just going just so nuts to Prodigy. They had to keep stopping it all the time. But it was fun. It was, that's one of the best. Yeah, it's probably the best time I've seen Prodigy, I would say. Apart from 2009. I think they were unbelievable. And the sound in that tent was just so good. So, yeah, I'll always remember seeing Prodigy then. That was wicked.
Yeah, that it's because of them I found out what the capacity of it was. I think someone in the book said it was like 25,000 people trying to fit into a 15,000 capacity tent. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, fucking crazy.
Yeah, I didn't watch them. I do want to say, I want to go back. Sorry, I was going to say for Atreyu, but I wasn't really sure how we were doing this, so I stopped myself. But I remember Atreyu. I definitely saw Atreyu on the Friday before we go into the last set of bands. They had 3 kick drums. Well, the drummer had 3 kick drums, and I was there like, why? Why has he got 3 kick drums? Because you only got 2 feet, two drums.
Maybe he uses. Maybe he had a double bass flick pedal, and then he had a single pedal for some songs. Yeah. Maybe,
probably something like that.
That was probably
been, he likes symmetry.
You've got to get in that third foot.
Yeah. But yeah, so that came back to me earlier when I was talking about them, and I forgot to say it, and I don't know why it's just come back to me. I suppose because they were a bit of a emo-y band, a bit like some of the bands on the stage we just talked about.
Yeah, they were definitely screamo-ish.
Not
they
emo.
had screaming, but they definitely had a lot of emo to them. But I love the Atreyu, brilliant.
Yeah, they're just they're touring with Bullet at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. I heard that people have been putting posts up saying Bullet were really fucking good the last couple of nights. Yeah, really good. They're always great, but I mean, at the pilot, I was like, fucking hell, they have stepped their game. Like, they've always been good live, but at the pilot, I thought they were absolutely unbelievable. They should be headlining stages now. Yeah.
Well, then let's get to the juicy Sunday night of Download 2006. So the day started with Breed 77, then into Hatebreed, Dragon Force, 36 Crazy Fists, In Flames, Lacuna Coil, Cradle of Filth, Bullet for My Valentine, Funeral for a Friend, bigger than Bullet for My Valentine at this point.
At that time, definitely.
And then GNR, Guns N' Roses, Axl and Friends.
It was Axl and Friends, big time. I never watched it, Guns N' Roses, but I heard it was a massive shit show.
It was. Yeah. He came on really late. I think, he came on, it was about an hour late, I think. And that was quite not popular, quite a regular thing. Like, you feel like you're waiting ages for the band to come on, and they would always be late. I think generally these days they're quite good at being on time, or maybe not the band. Maybe it's the technical stuff behind the scenes is on time now. Maybe it wasn't necessarily the band, but yeah,
there are a lot more curfews now as well, though. Like, Download have to stop at a certain time. Where I feel like back in the day they had a little bit more leeway with stuff like that. With volumes, like I feel like the main stage back in the day was much louder than it is now, without a shadow of a doubt. I feel like there's more, on the technical side, I don't think you can go as loud these days. And I think that they're very stringent on this is the time you start and this is the time that you finish. Where back in the day, you could, I think you could get a little bit more out of it.
Yeah, that's fair. So I'm pretty sure I would have just stayed at this stage all day. I remember a good friend of mine, Jacob, you met him, came last year. He was very much into Breed 77. I think I bought one of their albums, but I never got into it. It was a cool case though. So we were just sat in the field in front of the stage waiting for Breed 77 to come on, just chilling out.
Nice.
And it was really nice when they came on. They weren't too heavy, were they?
They were very new metal-y. Breed 77. They had that pure. They came from that breed of new metal bands.
Nope. Hatebreed would have stuck around for Hatebreed. Dragon Force. I think I stayed for Dragon Force and Crazy Fists and In Flames. I've probably just stayed there all day. I don't fully remember, but I wouldn't have gone very far.
I remember I missed In Flames because of someone else. I can't remember why. I watched all of Lacuna Coil, who were brilliant. Cradle Filth were great as well. Brilliant. I watched Bullet. I think I watched a couple of songs of Funeral, and then we went to get into the 10th Prodigy, and I didn't watch a note of Guns N' Roses.
So yeah, Guns N' Roses were interesting. And partly the reason for the riot, we would say, and you said it was probably the heat as well. There
was a lot of factors going on. Can I just say quickly before we jump to that, I want to say that it was a very proud moment for us Bullet fans at this point, because I'd been a Bullet fan since the EP, so even before the album came out. So we were going to all the small little shows. We went to meet them in HMV in London. We'd been Bullet fans from the word go. And when they brought out the first album, Poison, and it was so incredibly good, as Bullet fans, especially like me and Eugene, who were like just hardcore, like everything was Bullet My Valentine, everything. We were so happy that Bullet had such a main point on the main stage. For a Bullet fan, from watching them from the beginning, it was just the best to see them play such a huge show. I remember just being like a very proud parent of a band that I'd always loved, standing there going, oh, I feel quite proud of these guys, even though I don't know them, but I felt like genuinely really proud that they had got this far up the lineup, playing, above In Flames, above Cradle of Filth. I just, at the time, it was a big deal for Bullet fans.
Awesome. I couldn't believe Funeral for a Friend were above Bullet, but they didn't enjoy it. They weren't. They didn't like this gig. Have you ever heard that? No.
No.
Well,
why?
Let's read from my book then, before we go into all the riot.
Here we go. Let everyone know which book you're reading from.
Yeah, I've mentioned it a few times so far. So I am reading The Download Festival, The Unofficial History by Ian Carroll. And it's just basically talking about every year. Got a few sort of interviews. I'm not sure if he did these interviews or whether he just transcribed them from other interviews and put them in a book. Because some of them are a bit weird and pointless. But it's also really good. I found out some really cool stuff, like Axl Rose's shoe size.
Nice.
So from Matt Davies from Funeral for a Friend, the last time we played was in support to Guns N' Roses, just before they made their return, and it was one of those things that you wish you could scrub from your memory, really. I would have rather been watching Sick of It All. and the other one is Ryan Richards from Funeral for a Friend. He's a drummer. The most difficult show was the one where we were main support for Guns N' Roses. It was still enjoyable, but there were a lot of people who were just there to see Guns N' Roses, who were probably immensely disappointed, as I was. I had set myself up for disappointment, to be honest, as I couldn't really see it being that great, and it wasn't. I wish that they would just leave GNR alone, unless Slash would come back, but then it would just be Axl, Slash, and friends. There we go, I stole that joke earlier.
Nice.
But yeah, so they didn't enjoy it. I couldn't believe that. Was there any...
Yeah, from the footage, there's some really great footage from the Kerrang coverage of Funeral for a Friend when they're playing, and it looks amazing. They sound great, and the crowd look like they're really into it. So maybe from their side it didn't seem like it, but from the videos it seems like people were loving Funeral for a Friend. They were super hot at this time.
Yeah. Well, they were massive, weren't they? But I suppose just being professional, I guess. You have to be when you're a big band like that. Yeah.
Well, we all know, Axl Rose has made up for it now, playing 3.5-hour sets and actually giving it his all and stuff. He's kind of given it back to the fans in the last couple of years, so fair play to him. But at this point, everyone knows he was a very difficult man. The band was in turmoil. There was all sorts of stuff going on. So, obviously he had his problems like everyone else. Seems to have sorted it all out now. So that's good for Guns N' Roses fans, I guess. Because everyone that saw them at Download, when was it? 2000 and... What was it? 20... When did Guns N' Roses play? 2018. Everyone said that they were fantastic and all the Guns N' Roses fans loved it. So fair play to them. At least they came back to Download and played a good set. So if that's the last time they played a 3.5-hour excellent set that people enjoyed. So
yeah, they were very good in 2018.
Yeah.
They, what was it, 12-year break they didn't play between 2006 and 2018, not a download.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really know much about them at this point. I knew who they were, obviously, but I didn't know how bad they were. I think there were rumours that going around that he had done similar things on the tour that they had done before coming to Download 2006, like showing up 2 hours late to shows. Some of the things I read in the book, apparently, like the backstage areas where all the bands are, everyone hangs out and meets each other. Apart from the headliners, they shut everything off when the headliners are coming through, so nobody can see them or speak to them. And they come through and then let them all back out and from the pens or whatever they do.
Yeah, I guess it's probably like that now.
Yeah,
I would say they just headliners are the headliners, so they probably get all their own sort of shit, which is fair enough. But you still see. If the bands want to, I'm sure in the day they go out and hang out with all their mates and that. But I guess when you get closer to the show, they kind of lock the headliners away and say, right, you guys are separated from the rest of the class.
Yeah. There was a couple more that I wanted to read out before we go, because there's one I want to read out for Guns N' Roses as well. Okay. But yeah, there's one very cool one I want to read out. So this one is from George Petit, I don't know how to pronounce that, from Alexis on Fire. It's quite a long one, this one, but it's quite a good one. So here I found myself backstage in the VIP free drink section. I didn't have the appropriate wristband to be back there, but Aaron from Billy Talent headed to bed early for the night and gave me his. I used a paperclip to secure it to my wrist, and it was free drinks for me. Sorry, Download, but the exchange rate is pretty hefty for us Canadians, and we ain't rich. So I'm standing around with some of Billy Talent boys chatting and shooting the shit when who walks in? Ex-Pantera frontman Phil Anselmo. He was completely smashed, which was exactly how I expected him to be. The second he got a drink, he beelined it over to this chap wearing a Minor Threat t-shirt, pointed at his chest and said, "First album only. Fuck Fugazi." That alone was probably the best thing I could have possibly witnessed that weekend. But the story didn't end there. Later that evening, when Phil got within earshot of me, I told him I thought he was going to perform with Alice in Chains, as I had heard several rumours. He quickly responded, "I was too wasted. They would have never let me on stage." A fitting answer from the man who has died 3 times. More time passes, my friend Ben and I hanging out, when who strolls over but Phil yet again. "Hey, where are you guys from?" "Toronto, Canada," we responded. "Ah, a couple of Canadians. I'm Phil from Louisiana. You guys want to hear me sing Yeah. You guys want to hear me sing something?" "You're damn straight we wanted to hear Phil Anselmo sing something. A personal concert just for me and Ben. I was totally jazzed. Phil puts his arm around us and begins this tune. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, etc. I probably don't need to tell you it wasn't my birthday. Phil then let us go and was wrangled by one of his crew. And that's the story of the night. Phil Anselmo sang me happy birthday. You just can't make this shit up."
That is incredible. That is incredible. Do you know, that's jogged another memory. He was side of the stage for Devil Driver.
Was he?
Because Des and Phil were very good friends, because Coal Chamber played a lot with Pantera in the 90s. And every couple of songs, Phil would wander onto the stage, walk up to Des and just grab the microphone and just start spouting absolute bollocks. Like, literally. And he was standing on the side of the stage doing that Phil look, sunglasses on, and he was just pointing at Des and jamming on the side of the stage. But that has just triggered those memories. Drunk Phil Anselmo. So he can't have been wrong, because I bet that motherfucker was drunk the whole weekend.
Probably. So he played with Down, didn't he?
They didn't play this. They didn't play this one though, did they?
Yes, it's on.
Did they? Oh no,
it's on Wikipedia. It's not on the poster.
Were they secret band?
No,
I do not remember Down playing this download.
It wasn't a secret band. It was like a guest band, filling in, really late or something. I will have to find it. Download Wikipedia. Come on, at least I haven't got to scroll too far. It's only 2006. Tool. And so they played the main stage as well. Pretty sure they did. They're not on here. Where did they play? I think they did. Because I'm sure I read it somewhere, but I can't see it. And I'm not going to look for too long. Down, yeah. Opened the main stage on the Saturday. Down,
okay.
Down Satyricon, Blood Simple, Arch Enemy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would have been something to catch
I did
if he
see
was
Down.
that drunk.
I did see Down. He would have been drunk first thing in the morning, wouldn't he? Before
Yes,
going
he
on.
would have.
Yeah, I said, yeah, he would have.
Yeah, he definitely would have. Yeah. I gotta maybe wouldn't have like in 2009. Down were absolutely unbelievable. They were fantastic. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen them this early. I think I saw him in 2007. I saw him the year after this.
Yeah,
at Brixton, and they were great. But yeah, or 2008. It was 7 or 8. I don't remember. I don't remember them being at this download there. That's insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it says Down played an unannounced set on Saturday, with the laminates showing. Oh yeah, the laminates showing question marks in the time slot. So yeah, it was a secret band.
I remember hearing about a secret band. Don't remember that it was Down, but yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. I got one more to read you before talking about Guns N' Roses and the Riot, if you want. It's a bit of a long one again, but it's a cool one. I'm not going to tell you who it was. You have to try and guess as we're going. See at what point you can work out. We were booked to play The Tent, and we had a blast. But I'm friends with Robert in Metallica, and he said, "Dude, Jonathan Davis, and they are looking for someone to sing, and I have put your name forward." I just went out there and spoke to a couple of the guys in Korn. They said that they had wanted me to sing 2 songs, but I said that I would do one because if it all went horribly wrong, I could end up getting covered in piss. They then said to me to sing 1 song. Of all of the metal bands in the 90s, I was a massive Korn fan. I'd even paid money and brought tickets to go and see Korn, and now I've got Fieldy asking me to sing a Korn song. It was like a dream. I had Robert Trujillo?
We always said Trujillo, but it's said weirdly, yeah.
Yeah. I had Robert Trujillo saying, "Dude, you can do it." And I'd got Fieldy saying, "Will you do it?" And I'm just an arsehole from Newport with these 2 huge rock monsters asking me to do it. I went up there and I thought I would just give it my best shot. And I know that the British heavy metal fans love my band, so I went up there and gave it all I got. I sang Adidas, and to this day, I think, my God, it's just a dream. It was incredible. I met Corey from Slipknot. I hadn't really known him before, but he was really trying to bring it all together. So there was Corey, Des from Devil Driver, and the guy from Avenged Sevenfold, and he was like, "Come on, guys, this is not about us. We're representing Jonathan Davis here, and we've really got to get this together." He gave us a pep talk before we went on and cheered us up. He made us feel like a team and made us all feel comfortable. I wish that I had really done another song as the entire crowd sang along. You either get covered in piss or kisses. I guess we got covered in kisses. Benji Webb from Skindred, if you hadn't guessed.
Yeah, that is awesome, man.
Yeah.
So cool.
That was cool. And yeah, like I said, this book is filled with cool stuff like that. Like I said, I found out about the big poster. It's also filled with stuff. Right, one more. Because it's got one from somebody from the Blackout. So, yeah, this one is from James Davies from the Blackout. I went once before at the old site, inside the racetrack, the year Guns N' Roses played, in inverted commas. That's it. So, some really good ones, and some not so good ones. But, yeah, it's a cool book. And there's only 2 years left. It's only the first 7 years. So we got 2008 and 2009. Then you have to find a new book.
We'll have to write one.
We have to write one.
We'll have to write one.
Yeah.
Someone should be transcribing this podcast and just put it into a book. There you go.
Yeah, they should. Definitely. You know, in many years to come, when download's all over, a bit like the documentary of the Woodstock thing, when they get like big actors and stuff and people from the time to come and sit in a room and be interviewed. We'll be in that. We'll be in that for download.
That'd be great.
And they'll say, well, what happened with this? And we'll say, I don't remember.
We got the knowledge. Between the 2 of us, we can figure it out.
Yeah.
We just can't have one without the other. Otherwise, that doesn't work.
No. We'll be, yeah, that'd be cool. So, on to the riots and, the Guns N' Roses controversy. So, yeah, he came on late. He slipped on the stage. Do you know why he slipped on the stage?
No idea.
Because he had these stupid leather, like, homemade shoes on. So, there's another one from a guy from the message forums who was up in the sound desk tower as well, like hearing the stuff that he was barking orders like as well. That's a cool story. You have to get the book, not you, listeners, and read it, but not too far. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, he'd slipped because he had these stupid leather, like, homemade shoes on. And he went out the back, and the manager was like saying they're not going back on until the whole stage is carpeted. Ridiculous. And they managed to talk him into borrowing somebody else's shoes.
Oh my God.
But he's only got size 5.5 feet. So he was going around like this stupid, like, Cinderella thing.
Of course he does.
Trying to find someone with 5.5, like, size 5.5 feet. I don't know any men who have got feet that small.
That's pretty small. Unless you're like a really tiny person.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, yeah, fucking hell. That's hilarious.
But yeah, so he managed to find one pair of trainers, like, from one guy in the end. And the guy had to have to go back to work with no shoes on. So he's just given Axl Rose his shoes to go out and play. But yeah, it was a good hour. That was a good hour that he was off, I think. It was a long time. I can't remember. But yeah, we were sat up on the hill on the left-hand side watching it, just waiting for it. It was getting a bit cold at that point, I believe. It was getting dark. But yeah, just sat waiting for him to come out. And like I said, I hadn't heard much about what antics they'd been sort of doing and how much of a dick he was at the time. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I'd heard a little bit, so I was like, this is
I think
crap.
it was like it was a whirlwind because the riots were caused by Guns N' Roses being late and just not playing a proper set, so people getting annoyed. The fact that pretty much no one had drunk any water the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Like there were no water points like there are now. They either weren't working or you had to queue for 40 minutes. I remember standing in a queue and thinking, I'm just going to get a beer. I'm not even going to bother drinking water. And you got to bear in mind, people had been in scorching heat for 5 days.
Yeah.
I mean, people were. I remember on the Sunday was one of my most drunk days of the whole weekend because I was almost delirious because I hadn't eaten barely anything. I've been drinking the whole weekend, all in the sun. And by the Sunday, everyone had just decided, I'm going to start setting stuff on fire and I'm going to start breaking stuff apart and just throwing it.
Yeah.
And it was just, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was just like, there are really good videos on YouTube, so we'll link those in the description. But I mean, there were actual riot police called to download, and they were beating people up. People were throwing fucking fences at them, bits of tents, anything they could get their hands on at the police. So the people were going wild. The police were going wild. It was just like nothing has ever happened like that at Download ever before. It was just... The end of 2009 was also mental to the point where the riot police were probably almost called, but it didn't quite go that far. But this was by far the most insane, crazy, sort of non-Download-esque thing. Like, you would never expect people at Downloads to get that rowdy that the riot police are called. But I think it was just a whirlwind of everything that had happened across the weekend. The weather had a lot to do with it. The no water points, the people covered in dust, constant heat, and then Guns N' Roses just disappointing so many people. It just all amalgamated into everyone wanting to just tear the fucking place apart. And that's pretty much what they did. It was, it was mental. So if you don't know about that, go on YouTube and type in Download 2006 Riots or click on the links in the description and you'll see just how insane it actually was. And hopefully that never happens at Download again. But it was mad.
Yeah, well, so I didn't know how bad they were until looking them up for this episode. I think I probably found some of the same videos as you did. There was like 6 parts from it was 16 years ago, so it wasn't. Yeah, it was a long time ago. But so I remember going to sleep. I think everyone in our camp was worried that our tents might get set on fire while we were sleeping, but there wasn't much going on around us. I think we could see lots of fires in the distance, but there was quite often fires in the campsites on the Sunday night. So we didn't realise they were big fires. We didn't realise they actually had riot police come in with dogs. They had dogs with the riot police. But people were actually standing up to the riot police as well and shouting at them, having a go at them. It's like you said, that's not what happens at Download. That's not what you would expect.
You wouldn't expect it from Download, but I just think, a lot of stuff added to it. It was freaking crazy. It was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing at the time. I was like, is this actually how, am I in some sort of weird dream? Am I asleep? Because this is insane. Fucking mental. Like hordes of riot police rushing towards people. It was fucking crazy. But yeah, mad. A really strange end to probably one of the best Download festivals, which is actually crazy that it ended in that kind of fashion.
Yeah, but I mean, it's hard for me to gather that that's how it ended because I was there and I didn't see any of it. Just the fires in the distance. And obviously woke up in the morning. It was a bit of a mess, but that's just what happens on Sundays. Well, that's what we thought happens on Sundays. You know, people start fires and then a little fire engine goes and puts it out. But people were actually blocking off. Like I said, they had big fire engines come as well, and people were blocking off the paths to the campsites with the big like metal separators that they had, big metal fences. One of the best things on the YouTube videos is a guy starting to walk towards the police, and the people behind the camera are shouting, like basically shouting abuse at this guy and saying, "I bet he's got his own MySpace page with no friends." It was amazing. It was like, because it was such a big thing at the time as well. Like it was everything at the time. It was like, I don't know if Facebook is still the biggest thing at the moment. It's like Twitter or Instagram.
Yeah, MySpace was everything. It was the only way you could connect with people and your mates and other people on the other side of the world at the time. Yeah. So social media wise. So yeah, it was definitely he's got no friends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah, you were judged on how many MySpace friends you had and who was in your top 8.
Yeah.
Who was in your top 8 friends.
Someone annoys you.
If you could get into some... Yeah, you'd be like, wait a minute. Why have I fallen out of your top 8 friends?
Yeah.
What's going on?
And people would look, because that's just what we did at the time as well, because we were young. I'm going to move them down like 2 spaces and they will know it. Like within an hour, they'll look to see if they're still there. And they won't be. And they'll know that I'm annoyed with them. Passive aggressive.
I love it. It's classic. But yeah, I mean, that's not a sour note to end on. I'd say overall, some of my best memories of Download come from this year. Like I said, I've made friends now. I had a coffee with my friend Laura literally yesterday. She's still my friend to this day. And I met her at Download 2006. So yeah, This was a real special one for me. First one with the friends. Great lineup. Fantastic weather. Drunk almost the entire time. Just brilliant. Can't say enough good things about this Download. Fantastic.
Same for me, man. I mean, I probably wouldn't still be going if it wasn't a very good year. All of the first ones were absolutely incredible. Whether it was the bands or the people I was with, or wandering around the campsites until like 5 a.m. shouting "ni" at people. Something me and Jacob did. It wouldn't have been 2006. It would have been earlier than that. But all the little things like that built up from these years, even if I don't remember a lot of it, it was incredible because I still go like all this time later.
Yeah, these were the ones that made you want to go back and made you want to go every year, and that's why people like Adam have been every single fucking year because of years like this.
Yeah. And I was so glad. So back at this time, it was a good friend of mine used to come, Mike Ferris. I was a joint best man for his wedding. He was the guy who coined Gur camping. It must have been like 2004, and I'm so glad it's caught on a little bit. We've had people calling it Gur camping in the Discord.
Nice.
Like almost 20 years after I stole it from someone. Basically, I didn't come up with it. And I kept it going on my own, but we're sharing it now. We're sharing it in the Discord. Come and join us on the Discord and be friends with us, please.
Yes, do it. And also on the Discord, if there's anyone listening that also went to Download 2006, come on Discord and tell us your memories of Download. We would like to remember some other stuff, or maybe tell us about some bands that we didn't talk about that you saw that were awesome. So yeah, if there's any old school downloaders on there that are as old as we are that went, come and give us your memories of Download 2006.
We just love talking about this, don't we? We'd love it for you guys to join in with the conversation as well. Come and join us on Discord. But also, we're going to be bringing back Campsite Fuckery. Probably not this episode because we're running out of time. But we've had a couple of people asking about it. and we have set we've got its own channel in the Discord for Campsite Fuckery. It's a section of the show where we like to tell your stories. We like to hear your stories. So write into us and let us know if there's anything. What we were saying, funny. We were saying funny or interesting or something like that. But
anything.
But honestly, anything.
Literally any story you have of any year of Download Festival. Go onto the Campsite Fuckery channel on the Discord and just write in your stories. And when we start up Campsite Fuckery again, when we have a few of them and ones that we can remember, we will start doing it again, and we will read out all your guys' stories.
Yeah. So on that note, we should probably start wrapping it up. We already sort of started wrapping it up. So I don't think we have too much more to say about 2006. If anything, there's probably going to be loads. There's going to be loads that we've missed. There's something else we said right at the beginning. We cannot be everywhere at these festivals. A lot of these earlier ones, I was mostly in the campsite. So there's a lot of things that I have no idea about or missed as well.
2006 was fantastic. Come and tell us on the Discord. We love you all. We're going to wrap up the show now. I'm just going to take over Adam's bit. Adam, tell us about your YouTube. Oh no, wait a minute, you haven't got one. I'll tell you about my YouTube instead. It's Simon Bond. Come and join me on YouTube. I just reached 600 subscribers. It's fantastic.
And
I'm Fonzie_Simon on Instagram. If you want to see me eat an entire bag of crisps uncensored, then come over to my YouTube.
Yeah, all the other stuff. So much information you can find in the show in the show description. All the videos we said in this, you can find how to contact us, email addresses, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that sort of stuff. Just go and have a look, find us. The Discord invite is in there as well. You'll need that to get into our Discord. And it's time for us to say goodbye. So, you've done your stuff, I've done my stuff. Is it going to be a goodbye from Simon?
See you later.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.